New Jersey, one of the 13 original colonies, this famous state has always played a leading part in our country's history and progress. Although small in size, New Jersey is big in accomplishment in industry, agriculture, in education and research, in the building of famous resorts, public works, and fine highways. On main travel routes up and down the Atlantic seaboard, millions of motorists drive through the state every year. The many travelers who see New Jersey only from its major through highways may think of it first as just an industrial state. They see a vast panorama of shipyards and docks, busy factories and industrial areas, oil refineries among the largest in the world. Roads carry an endless stream of goods and passengers through their busy terminals. For the manufacturer, this means speed and convenience in getting his products to market. To the commuter, it means comfort and service. Deep inland waterways serve the needs of heavy industry. Direct truck routes speed commercial traffic to its destination. Newark Airport is one of the busiest in the world. Passengers and freight flow through it every hour of the day. And for the motoring public, industry in a network of smooth, safe highways. Interchanges of intricate design permit the unhampered flow of an incredible volume of traffic. Wide bridges from the south span the Delaware River. This one at Camden has carried more cars in a single day than any bridge or tunnel in the world. George Washington Bridge across the Hudson River is a direct link between New England and the southern states. If the motorist will leave these main busy throughways, New Jersey offers an alluring choice of scenic journeys. In spring, every roadside bursts into an endless panorama of color. Magnolias and dogwoods transform the suburbs with their bright blooms. Every fence and garden corner wears a new spring dress, while masses of flowering cherries attract thousands of visitors to this park in Newark, largest city in the state. It's a field day for amateur photographers with color film in their cameras. And out in the orchards, nature covers the landscape with banks of color as far as the eye can see. Colors for decoration. Colors that foretell the rich harvests to come. Springtime in the fishing country invites the sportsman to leave his car and try his luck in a tumbling stream. Is famous for its trout streams. Close to the highway, scores of pools like this combine good fishing and thrilling beauty. Of course, not everyone's an expert, and fish are not the only ones that get caught. But when an old-timer gets on the bank, an expert who knows how to select a fly and tie it with a perfect knot in a leader almost as fine as a human hair, look for action and excitement. A smooth, sure cast whips the fly into a likely pool. Light as a fluff of milkweed, it drifts downstream. Then the strike, and he's hooked. A light rod and a fighting trout call for plenty of skill at this stage of the game. This is trout fishing at its best. A rippling stream, beautiful scenery, and oh boy, what a fish! Such catches as this are the rule, not the exception in New Jersey, because of a far-reaching conservation program carried on by the state. Feeding time at the state fish hatchery where millions of trout are raised to stock New Jersey streams. Visitors to the smaller pools never fail to marvel at the age-old urge of the trout to fight their way upstream. The stocking procedure begins as adult trout are netted and transferred to trucks for the journey to shady pools and rushing rapids for the future delight of fishermen. New Jersey pioneered the system of stocking streams with full ones might be killed off in large numbers by natural enemies. But fellows this size are much better equipped to survive. Scenic byways wind through the hills of northern New Jersey to spots of rare beauty. From sweeping vistas up and down the graceful curves of the Delaware Water Gap to the majestic rocky cliffs that tower high above the shores of the Hudson River. Safe motor roads, trails, and lookout points give easy access to views of thrilling grandeur. 13 miles along the Hudson River are preserved as a permanent park. High Point Park in the Kittatinny Range includes the state's highest elevation. In all sections, big tracts of native woodland are reserved for public use. Here's a chance to get away from the city, cook a tasty meal in real camp style, and eat it out in the open. More than 700 of New Jersey's lakes and ponds are devoted to recreation. You can go adventuring in a rowboat among the lily pads, or paddle your own canoe. In the verdant hills, blue lakes reflect a thrilling vista of sun, sky, and unspoiled nature. Sandy shorelines offer pleasant hours to relax in the sun, while nature paints you a healthy tropical tan. You can enjoy a plunge into the crystal water of a nearby pool. There's fun, too, in the swift dash of a speedboat. Yes, there are many attractions on New Jersey's lakes. On some lakes, sailboat racing is the popular sport. There is a flutter of white as the sails go up. A last-minute scurry to get to the starting line on time. Then it's off to the finish with sheets pulled taut, and may the best skipper win. This is the life for those who love the kick of the helm, the swing of the boom in a stiff breeze, and white sails on blue water. New Jersey is called the Garden State. Wherever you drive, agricultural development is before your eyes or around the next corner. Some 2 million acres are devoted to farming, for New Jersey growers supplying the fresh food for 18 million people. A large share of the frozen foods of the world are grown here on highly mechanized farms. So critical is the time element in processing these crops that field supervisors are equipped with radio telephones for constant contact with their headquarters. Lima beans that left the ground a few minutes ago are processed in huge machines to separate the beans from the pods. The beans come tumbling out, and as quickly as the boxes are filled, they are rushed to the freezing plant by truck. Samples are taken to ensure uniformity of quality. Conveyors operating 24 hours a day carry the beans to the roof of the plant, and in less than an hour after they leave the vine, they are packaged and frozen. Tomatoes are by far the chief crop canned in New Jersey, and approximately 32,000 acres of them are required to fill the yearly needs. During the harvest, thousands of trucks are kept busy moving the crop to canneries. Lines of trucks over a mile in length are a frequent sight outside the larger plants, and tomato products manufactured from these truckloads will be sent all over the world, carrying familiar brand names from the Garden State. Chief market vegetable in the state is sweet corn. Its field corn goes to feed the dairy herds that dot the landscape. The state's largest dairy is at Plainsboro, and providing the food for Walker Gordon's 2,000 cows is a big business. Hefty gentleman. A herd of pedigreed bulls is maintained on the farm for scientific stock betterment throughout the state. Visitors enjoy watching the electric exerciser that gives Mr. Bull his morning workout. Some take it placidly. But this one just doesn't like cameramen. New Jersey's climate and soil are admirably suited to fruit growing. Approximately 3 million bushels. Because of their nearness to markets, orchardists can pick their fruit fully ripe. When you buy these apples or peaches, they're at the peak of perfection for sweetness and flavor. Have you ever thought of flowers as a crop? Well, they are in New Jersey. Along most highways in the southern part, you'll come across broad fields of them stretching away in a vast carpet of color. Hardy flowers, such as zinnias, thrive and reach perfection. Other varieties need the protection of greenhouses all year round. Madison is an outstanding center of rose production. Its crop goes not only direct to florists, but is shipped to wholesalers as far away as the Middle West. More orchids are grown in Bound Brook than in the rest of the nation combined. These strange, exotic flowers have an infinite variety of delicate shades and shapes. With good soil, beneficial climate, rapid transportation, New Jersey's flowers travel far to give pleasure to millions. No New Jersey journey would be complete without a motor trip along its miles of sparkling coastline. On the northern part of the shore, resorts and beach communities present an ever-changing variety of scenes. From these beautiful homes at Deal Beach, with their landscaped lawns and flowers, the road leads you to popular Asbury Park. This famous beach has been a favorite of holiday throngs since the turn of the century. Movies, dances, and smart shops are nearby in the modern where special events pack the summer with fun. There's fun, too, along the sun-drenched boardwalk. Rides and games for the youngsters. Gay beach clubs give you a choice between bathing in a pool or the ocean. At the height of the season, the annual baby parade attracts thousands of visitors. Queen Titania and her gaily costumed court sit in regal splendor as a fairy book parade of children moves past. Some others on beautiful floats. Nearby Red Bank attracts its thousands during an annual two-day regatta of motorboat races. Inboards and outboards from as far away as California assemble for the big event. Powerful motors get a last-minute tune-up. Over in the outboard pits, pilots and mechanics swarm around their colorful little craft during the tense few minutes before each race. With an explosion of sound, they move out to the starting line. There's the gun and they're off. There's plenty of speed packed into these little craft. Riding the turns takes nerve and skill. Here comes the finish. And here's the winner. Uh-oh, here's trouble. Tough luck, but all part of the game. Now the powerful inboards bunch together for the start of the national sweepstakes. These boats reach terrific speed at the turn, and it's a fight all the way. But perhaps your idea of a vacation is to get away from the crowd. If it is, head south on a scenic ocean drive. You can drive down to a spot on the beach or take a dip in your own private ocean. You can rent a cottage by the dunes or take a picnic at light. This is a favorite spot for artists who return again and again to capture its charm on canvas. Wherever you travel on this beautiful coast, scenes of infinite variety unfold. From narrow inlets to the celebrated beach at Cape May, where another lighthouse marks the southern tip of the state. But if you prefer to do your motoring on the water instead of beside it, you'll find well-appointed yacht harbors at your service. By far, the greatest majority of them are located on or near New Jersey's remarkable inland waterway. In back of the narrow strip of land that forms the state's Atlantic coastline, there are several closely connected bays and harbors. These have been joined by channels to form a protected water highway that stretches almost the entire length of the coast. Thus, small craft are able to travel in safe water for nearly 100 miles through interesting bridges or across the center of level marshland. Broad bays make an aquatic playground for thousands of vacationists. Every spring, oystermen go out from a score of harbors to take up state seed oysters and replant them on their own leased beds. In this one section, the yield of oysters has been increased from 2,000 to 40,000 bushels annually. Such wise conservation measures have helped to make New Jersey's oysters a $50 million industry. Chief Oyster Center is at Bivalve on Delaware Bay. Here, the big dredge boats come in with their catch fresh from the sea. Oysters for market, transferred to sacks, and fast trucks carry them to stores, hotels, and restaurants all over the East. Others go up on dockside conveyors to processing plants for canning. For those who have never eaten oysters right from the sea, here's a tip from an old-timer on one way it's done. Ocean fresh, with only the tang of the sea for sauce. Mmm. If you'd like to do a little fishing, will take you out on a deep sea trip. Drive down to the dock, park your car, and you're off for a day of sport. The rough water at the mouth of the inlet tosses you around a bit, but outside on the ocean it's smooth sailing and the anchor is dropped. Out goes your line, and in come the fish from all sides of the boat. Fisherman's luck may include a sea robin or even a carp. There are plenty of good fish in the sea. The fisherman who wants to try his luck on bigger game can charter one of the fast cruisers that travel farther offshore. At most times of the year, tuna, marlin, and even swordfish can be caught along the coast. On the way to the fishing ground, the tackle is broken out and overhauled. Once the fishing begins, the action soon becomes fast and furious. New Jersey is famous for its fishing. To encourage the sport, the Governor's Fishing Tournament is held each year, and valuable prizes are given for the best catches in all classes, both fresh and saltwater. The poor fish can't tell who's got him hooked, so he continues to struggle. The poor fish. Well, it's the same old story. Once a pretty girl gets you on the hook, you might as well give in. White flags flying show the size of the catch. One flag for each fish caught. Ashore again, a fascinating journey for the motorist leads along the banks of the winding Mullica River to old forgotten towns in the Pine Barrens. This region was once a dense forest which supplied fuel and materials for scores of busy manufacturing towns. After the close of the Revolutionary era, the forests were used up and the towns abandoned. Today, lost town hunting has become an adventurous pastime. Here at the once thriving town of Batstow, a humming iron foundry made cannonballs. A British force did its best to destroy the foundry, but a handful of villagers sniping from behind stone walls surprised the attackers and defeated them. A more serious defeat for the British began here on the banks of the Delaware, where Washington embarked on his famous surprise crossing on Christmas night, 1776. Today, stone steps mark the spot, and a bridge permits the motorist to follow the historic route in ease and comfort. On the New Jersey shore, the state has set aside a beautiful commemorative park. Nearby, its interior is furnished in the Revolutionary period, and visitors can pass through the door to find themselves whisked back to the days of that fateful turning point in our country's history. The route taken by part of the Army on their forced march through darkness and snow has been preserved as a park. Here in Trenton, now the state capital, the actual attack was made. And in the heart of the city, Trenton Battle Monument marks the spot where Washington placed his artillery. Another historic spot in Trenton is the old barracks built during the French and Indian Wars. Both British and Americans used the building during the Revolution. In nearby Princeton, this intricately carved monument commemorates another famous battle of the Revolution. A tree-lined road in Morristown leads to Jockey Hollow, where the Continental Army encamped for 2 winters. Convenient maps put up by the National Park Service make it easy to find all the points of interest. A reconstructed... This was the burial ground of soldiers who could not survive the harsh winter. The encampment included Wick House, the home of a patriot farmer, which has been accurately restored and furnished in the style of the times. In one of the bedrooms, according to legend, the farmer's daughter concealed her horse to keep it from being taken by the troops. In Morristown, this dramatic statue of Washington stands opposite the Ford House, which served as the general's headquarters. The Continental Congress. Still used and revered, the notable old building now shares the campus with many beautiful examples of collegiate architecture. Blair Hall, with its famous arch, a well-known landmark on the campus, flies the Princeton flag. This is the new Memorial Chapel. Much of the university's activity and pageantry is centered here. Scientists, men of letters, educators, and mathematicians from all over the world. Other seats of knowledge within the state include Drew University, on the outskirts of Madison. St. Elizabeth's Girls College, founded in 1899. New Jersey State College for Women, a part of Rutgers University. And of course, Rutgers University itself. The men of Rutgers revere Old Queens, oldest building on the campus. The Agricultural Experimental Station at Rutgers is constantly working toward the betterment of crops and yields, and serves as a valuable ally to seed from the famous Rutgers tomato is prepared by its originator. The seeds of this hardy mother stock have helped to build up the fine quality of New Jersey tomatoes. Feed corn experiments produce new and better strains. Students learn how to handle animals through experience. And here's a prospect for the College Glee Club. In a new strain developed by the poultry department, hens and roosters are gets a break. Extensive experiment has developed the most desirable grasses for fairways and greens, and the university offers an advisory service to golf clubs and greenskeepers throughout the East. Don't forget your clubs when you visit New Jersey. Fine public courses are yours to enjoy, and the state is famous for its beautiful, well-kept greens. As the hunting season approaches and the leaves begin to turn, another sport takes the headlines. At the take part in annual field trials. For those who have come from distant states, it's a family outing for both masters and pups. The youngsters, too, can share in the fun. A little attention breaks the boredom of waiting before it's time to be led out toward the starting line. In another part of the field, a bird handler is hiding live pheasants in the grass for the dogs to find. Pheasant hiding is quite a trick. It reminds you a little of hypnotism to watch the handler put the bird down, tuck it, and then, after a liberal application of grass, be able to walk away and leave it there. Back on the starting line, the dogs are in position. And they're off like a streak. Two competing dogs run together in what is known as a brace. Judges and handlers follow along on horseback as each dog works the first part of the course. When he reaches the field where the pheasants are hidden, the dog is on his own. A beautiful point. Steady, old man. He has to hold it until his handler flushes the bird and releases him. Good work. You don't have to be a sportsman to thrill at the sight of a well-trained dog on point. Here is perfect control. After the course is run, the tired dog and his master return to the clubhouse. Congratulations for the winners and beautiful trophies to go on the mantle back home. But for every visitor to New Jersey in the fall, there are beautiful journeys amid unmatched color along its scenic roads. But whenever you make your journey, there's one spot you won't want to miss. Fabulous Atlantic City, called the playground of the world. In every season of the year, millions of visitors make this famous resort their goal. In summer, its beach is the center of attraction. Wide expanses of sand and ocean making throng. Its famous hotels and boardwalk play host to scores of conventions. This hospitable city can accommodate 500,000 visitors at a time. When you get tired of walking, you can rent a chair and ride along the 8 miles of boardwalk, with shops and gay amusements stretched before you on either side. And every September, Atlantic City pays tribute to the fairest in the land. The lovely Miss America is chosen from contestants from every state in the Union. Martial music makes the boardwalk echo. Beautiful contestants waving to the crowd are followed by floats of intricate and spectacular design. Here's another possible queen. Beautiful girls, floats, and bands pass in a glamorous cavalcade before the eyes of applauding thousands. No device is too imaginative for the float maker's art. No loveliness overlooked to make this pageant one of the most lavish and colorful of its kind. Just another of the many events that bring visitors from everywhere to this playground state. For a day, a weekend, or a long vacation, whatever you like, you'll find it in New Jersey. The thrill of a fighting trout in a woodland stream, the swift flight of sails on an inland lake, the roll of a ball on a velvet green, or a fascinating record of an historic event. Come whenever you like. The blossoming days of early spring, the warm, sunny months of summer, the rich, golden days of autumn, all invite you to happy motoring on your New Jersey journey.